Pioneer. It's the new Modern, now that Modern isn't Modern anymore, but rather Modern Horizons. And they're also going to make that Lord of the Rings set Modern legal, even though that kind of goes against what Modern was supposed to be about, and they didn't do that with supplemental sets before, but hey, goodbye format whose point was a competitive place to play with my old cards. But you know where Modern Horizons and Lord of the Rings cards aren't going? That's right, Pioneer. And also Standard, but who cares? With the release of Innistrad Crimson Vow, many Magic the Gathering players are going to check out Pioneer, and they're asking the question, what new Magic cards are going to be wed to the Pioneer format from this new set? But despite all these spicy new additions, there's one card from Magic's past that was reprinted in Crimson Vow, making it legal in Pioneer, and possibly, some people worry, warping the format around it because, hey, it's a legacy staple. Is that the case? Well, first, I'd like to talk to you about something Magic the Gathering that will never warp, and that's these high-quality metal prints by Displate, such as this one of Tybalt, sponsor of this video. No, Tybalt isn't the sponsor of the video, Displate is. I just love these, they're so cool. Whether it's magic art or something else, with Displate you can build collections of the things that you are passionate about right on your wall. Sure, there's a library of artwork and designs that are indeed not Magic the Gathering, but all I can think about are the tons of artworks that are. Many of my favorite Magic the Gathering artists have their work available as Displates, and I just love how these hang on the wall via a magnet. You just stick it on, look at that. No nails or additional tools needed. I like, since these are held up by magnets, how easily I can swap them out. And you can adjust it just by pushing it up or down a bit. I love that part too. And since they're flat on the wall, the art seems to just pop off in vivid detail. It's such a cool stylistic way to decorate a room or hallway. So be sure to check out my link in this video's description, which will give you 34% off if you buy 1 to 2 Displates, or it'll give you 38% off if you buy 3 to 4 Displates, or if you're really redecorating, and you need a bunch, then you'll get 42% off if you buy 5 or more Displates. Wow, but that's just until the end of November. So be sure to peruse the many Magic the Gathering artworks that are available, as well as their wide variety of non-MTG artworks. Thank you, Displate. I hit the microphone there. Do I have to retake that just because I don't need to retake that. So what reprint has the potential to warp the entire Pioneer format? Well, obviously it's Mulch. I kid. It's Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, but we'll get to her in a minute. In all seriousness, Mulch is a great reprint for the format, and I feel confident it's going to see play in a number of decks. For 1 and a green, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all lands revealed this way into your hand and the rest in the graveyard. Delirium decks have previously played cards such as Grapple with the Past to help build Delirium and make their land drops. However, Mulch has the potential to give you multiple lands, creating card advantage. Minor upgrades aside, where I really see Mulch shining is as a card advantage engine in the Omnath Locus of Creation-centric Jeskai Ascendancy decks. These decks already play Midnight Hunt All-Star Consider, but consider this. Mulch will give players the ability to find their ever-important Fabled Passages while fueling their Delve spells. Just what everyone loves to see. Omnath with Fabled Passage. Whether you love or hate this interaction, Mulch will definitely dredge up the past and bury your opponent with advantage in Pioneer. All right, enough fun and games. Time to put an end to that with Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. That extra mana is steeper than you'd think. The All-Star of Death and Taxes decks, wherever you might find them, Thalia, Guardian of Thraben is one of the best white creatures ever made. Could she bring Death and Taxes to Pioneer? Well, sorry Vince, but the answer is probably not. Too many key pieces of Death and Taxes decks just aren't in the format. What Thalia will do, however, is power up some marginal decks and make them a lot more viable. I wonder if this legacy staple will impact a format that is dominated by powerful spells. Humans just became a real possibility. If you've come from Modern to Pioneer, well, there's no escape from humans. Honestly, it'll make any creature deck playing white a better deck by slowing down those dastardly Is It Phoenix decks. Pioneer is a big spell format, and adding that extra tax may be the difference between winning and getting crushed under an ultimatum. And sure, she'll die to every shock and fatal push in the format, but she'll double the cost of doing so, all while wasting our opponent's removal, and that's a small victory right there. Ultimately, Thalia isn't going to warp the format as some feared. She's powerful and legacy playable, but Pioneer is not legacy, nor modern. It's its own thing, and it will be made all the more diverse thanks to added toys like Thalia, who will absolutely see a lot of play, but I think Pioneer is going to stay exactly where it's been at, healthy. So no, despite what many people are saying, Thalia will not be warping the Pioneer format around her. In fact, I am really excited about this reprint because all it's doing is helping diversify and expand the format. It means Pioneer is going in wider directions, not more narrow ones, and that's great for everyone. It's actually getting me excited to play because I like those sort of tier 2 decks that it's going to be a part of, and there's a lot of other Magic players who really enjoy that style of deck. It's a win-win for everyone. And I am excited about Mulch. It was a part of my favorite standard deck ever. French Rights, back with original Innistrad and Scars of Mirrodin block standard, and I'm already thinking up ways I can use Mulch. I need to get some more cards reprinted from, we just gotta get all the old modern cards reprinted into Pioneer maybe, and then don't ban Splinter Twin, and then what new cards are going to be a real hit in Crimson Vow for Pioneer? Let's look at the top 5. Well, kicking off the list at number 5 is a Cleave card that we will have no intention of casting for its Cleave cost. Inspired Ideas, a sorcery that costs 2 and a blue and draws us 3 cards. Oh, and there's something about reducing our maximum hand size, but that won't matter if we win the turn we cast it. This card doesn't have an immediate home, and that's why it's only at number 5 for now, but cards that provide more fuel for the Storm combo fire always seem to find homes eventually. Even Ideas Unbound and Meditate have seen top-level play in their respective formats. This won't be a 4 of in a new build of Izzet Phoenix, but a new combo deck featuring a card like Thassa's Oracle is always on the horizon. An Inspired Idea will help power that up. Coming in at number 4, we have Patchwork Crawler, an exciting new zombie that lets us build our own abomination. For just 2 mana, this Necrotic Ooze Impersonator is a combo deck in a can. For 2 and a blue, we will exile a creature card from our graveyard to give Patchwork Crawler a +1/+1 counter. And Patchwork Crawler gains any activated abilities the exiled card may have had. I'm sure you're asking just what kind of combos we can pull off. Well, how does Infinite sound? Infinite mana, that is. That's right, thanks to the card Incubation Druid and Glimmerbell, our zombie horror here can do just that. By exiling Incubation Druid, Patchwork Crawler will gain the requisite counter to start tapping for 3 mana. Then, if we exile Glimmerbell, we can use 2 of those 3 mana to untap our Crawler. From there, we make infinite blue mana and can start tapping for any other color we need. Although it may start out as a fringe combo deck, like any good Necrotic Ooze deck, it's only 1 creature away from hitting the big leagues. What about number 3? Well, Innistrad has come to be well known for its big tribal synergy payoffs, and Crimson Vow is no different. And what tribe is all the buzz in a vampire-themed wedding? Humans! What did I tell you? There's no escaping this tribe. And that's thanks, in no small part, to Hamlet Vanguard, a 3-mana bruiser that's perfect for any humans deck. Featuring Ward 2 and an Enter the Battlefield ability that grants 2 +1/+1 counters for each non-token human we control, if we manage to play on curve, Vanguard easily comes down as a 3-mana 5/5 on turn 3. A tried and true rate in Pioneer. However, when combined with Collected Company, another Pioneer staple, this creature has the ability to get large and in charge to close games out fast. While it might only be number 3 on this list, a human deck featuring Hamlet Vanguard will be able to give even the currently dominated Izzet Phoenix a run for its money, especially when played in tandem with Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. We got there. So what are the number 2 and 1 picks for Pioneer from Crimson Vow? Well, speaking of humans, want a good way to deal with them? How about Path to Peril? For 1 generic and 2 black mana, you get to destroy all creatures with a mana value of 2 or less. You can say Sayonara to Thalia and her lieutenant. It also has a cleave cost of 4 generic, a white, and a black to simply destroy everything. Good in the early game to get rid of some Monastery Swift Spears, and in the late game for dealing with Omnath, Locus of Creation. Ha, what perilous pleasure. But with mass removal out of the way, what do we have in store for our number 1 pick? Well, our number 1 pick is from another of Innistrad Crimson Vow's key tribes, Spirits. Dream Shackle Geist costs 1 and 2 blue for a 3/1 with flying, and every time it attacks, it either taps down an opponent's creature or keeps one of their already tapped creatures from untapping during their next untap step. Spirits is no stranger to this kind of tempo shifting in the forms of Nebelgast Herald and Shackle Geist. While both have had their time to shine, they each required other spirits to tap down our opponent's creatures. Dream Shackle Geist does that on its own. Our other spirits are now free to do what they do best, deal massive amounts of flying damage. Now, I'm not advocating abandoning Shackle Geist entirely, just complimenting it. Hey, why don't you throw this in that Azurius Spirits Challenger deck that just came out? Trust me, it could use the help. But even though the Azurius Spirits Challenger deck for Pioneer wasn't as well put together as it could have been, Azurius Spirits itself is a very powerful archetype in Pioneer, and Dream Shackle Geist just made it all the more powerful. Now I want to hear from you. Are there any cards I didn't mention that you think have a place in Pioneer? Let me know in the comments below. Special thanks to Crew 3, the Pioneer podcast that offered consultation and script supervision, and who just hit their 100th episode. If you love Pioneer and you haven't been listening to Crew 3, there's never been a better time to start. I'll link their 100th episode in this video's description so that you can crew up with Crew 3. But now I want to hear from you. What cards do you think from Crimson Vow are going to make a mark on the Pioneer format and why? Let me know in the comments below. And thanks again to Displate for sponsoring this video. Remember, for a limited time, if you use my link in this video's description, you'll get 34% off if you buy 1 to 2 Displates, 38% off if you buy 3 to 4, and if you're really redecorating and get 5 or more, that's 42% off, which, yeah, that's quite a deal with the Tybalt, I suppose. Awesome, and thank you, Displate, for sponsoring this video.